Yeah, we can start now. Shivam, please start.
Good evening, everyone. We are about to start. So, as you know, the Society for Data Science, BIT Mesra, are a student body of data science enthusiasts with the aim of bringing more and more students an opportunity to explore and learn about data science. We are delighted to host the Data Science Summit 22 this year as well. This is Shivam Raj. With me, I have Adirath Goswami, and this will be the first in our webinar series this year with Mr. Vijay Pravin. He is the founder and CEO of BitsCrunch on a mission of securing the NFT ecosystem. Mr. Praveen has been a TEDx speaker thrice, is an angel investor, and a data science enthusiast just like us. Today, he will be sharing his insights on data science and blockchain. Over to you, sir.
Thanks a lot, Shivam. Thanks for the Society for Data Science. I mean, right from the invitation to taking me through this event, you guys have been picture perfect, clean. I would suggest. I would say, and thanks for everybody, including the ones who designed the posters or the guys who did the marketing and pulled enough people out here to listen to this session. And I'm also glad that DPhi is also one of the partners for this session. So, because since I personally know the founders of DPhi, just give me a minute. So, yeah. So, like I said, I know Chanukya and Mujit from DPhi. So, good to know that you guys are already associated. So, to give you a little introduction about myself, I'm usually based out of Munich, Germany. I'm originally from Tirunelveli, which is a city in Tamil Nadu, but then living in Munich, Germany for the last 9+ years, close to a decade. But with the background noises, you would have probably guessed. I'm in India right now for vacation. I'll be traveling back on 8th of March. So have been at a TEDx stage a few times, been recognized as one of the top data professionals to be followed on LinkedIn, and yeah, I've done some quite interesting stuff so far in my career. And later, I founded BitsCrunch, which is one of the blockchain analytics company, and that is where I'd like to touch upon today. So I'd like to talk about data science, data analytics, and how it is crucial in blockchain domain. So sorry for my bad throat. So today I'm not fully fit in terms of my throat, but yeah, excuse me for that. Then I'd like to assess the audience here. So I mean, because of the pandemic times, I'm not really sure if you guys are listening or not. So just pulling up a question. So how good are you in terms of blockchain? Do you know blockchain on a scale of 0 to 10? 0 means bad, I don't know anything, and then 10 means I know everything in blockchain. So yeah, let's see how people respond. So if there is someone listening to the session, maybe please use the chat box, comment box on YouTube, where you can rate what's the 7. Nishul says 7. Someone says 0. Honest answer. Thanks. Abhishek knows the concept. Nambi knows 5. Prince is related to cryptocurrencies. Good. So I see a lot of zeros and less than 5s. Yash is probably between 4 and 6. Sheikh Ruman is 0. Good start. So this is what I kind of do in my sessions. So I kind of like to have an interactive sessions where people respond from the other end, right? I mean, it's good to have people who respond to you. And okay, so starting with the next question. I mean, I still get answers for the previous question. Where are you based? currently, which location. So right now I'm closer to Tirunelveli, which is in Tamil Nadu. I would like to know where you guys are from. I know it's pandemic. People are working from home, studying from home. So just like to know what location you're from. Okay, Jargant, MSD, Shivam. Rahul is from Chennai. Cool. Vanakkam, Rahul. Kirti Priyan, Karur. Cool. Kirti Priyan, I guess I have heard this name somewhere. Sheikh is from West Bengal, Prince of Kolkata. Siddharth, Ranchi. Okay. Delhi, Sanchit. So Delhi, Puducherry, Ilanjaliyan, நல்ல தமிழ் பேர் நாகார்ஜுனா. Good to know. Good to know. Cool. So I see people from extreme ends of India, from West Bengal to Tamil Nadu to Andhra Pradesh to Ranchi. So good to know that. And yeah, so data science. I mean, society for data science. So you should have listened to a lot of data science videos, right? Data analytics, data science. So whatever apps that you see, whatever applications that you use in your day-to-day lives carry data science element, right? Right, from Swiggy, Zomato, what else? Uber, Ola, Zepto, Dunzo, and whatnot. Every single app, even Facebook, Instagram, and others uses data analytics or data science at its back. So, what makes it a lethal combination when it joins hands with blockchain? Can someone tell any data analytics applications that can be used alongside blockchain? Or first of all, should I start with blockchain because there are a lot of zeros in there? So, blockchain. When I say blockchain, most of the people they just get the financial transactions in mind. Okay, then people talk about bitcoins, people talk about Ethereums and transaction hashes, right? But blockchain isn't all about transactions. It's a technology that supports financial transactions, of course, but blockchain is is immutable. It's a record that stays on a chain forever. Exactly like Sheikh Roman said, it's like a digital ledger. So you know ledger, right? Ledger book where people used to take notes. How many thing is left? How much stock is still left? What do we have to purchase? That is now digitally embedded digital ledger, and we have data points spread across multiple systems, multiple places. So whatever you store in blockchain isn't going to be lost. Exactly, something like packets spread across the network, right? Cool. So, do anybody know any data analytics or data science applications on blockchain, or heard of any startups that does data analytics on blockchain? Anyone knows anything about data science? So maybe I'll give you a couple of examples. Maybe if I can chat, I would request the admins to post this in the general chat. I'm writing it down right here. So I've just posted a couple of comments, which the admins will take care of it. They'll post it in the chat box. So yes, Elan's name is right. I mean, we are pretty basic with Scrunch. course, that's my company, but there are several other leading players which we are taking inspirations from, right? So there is Dune Analytics, there is Nansen, for instance, exactly. So they are actually doing a lot of good stuffs when it comes to data analytics. Doesn't mean that we at we are any way lower or in terms of any mean to what they are building, but just saying that they are far more established. Dune Analytics is a firm, Nansen is a firm that provide data analytics. And you know what's the beauty of blockchain? Blockchain is open source. So if you go on log on or if you go and check with Etherscan, every single transaction, every single thing that is registered on a chain is there on on a publicly available data set. That's the beauty of blockchain, and that is where data analytics can play a vital role. So uh, it's an open book. We have all the transactional data that is on embedded onto a blockchain. So as a data professional, as a data scientist, as a data student, aspirant, what do we do? What can we do? Right? We have Google BigQuery, or we have open data sets that is readily available for you to explore, right? So can somebody name some of the data visualization tools out here? So the ones that you use or the ones that you have heard of, data visualization tools. Yes, yeah, you're right. Power BI, Tableau, Spotfire. Exactly. Someone even said simpler things. Seaborn on Python and Tableau, Spotfire, ClickSense. There are plenty, right? OmniSci, Graph, SQL. So there are plethora of options. So I said yes, blockchain is open source, so you can collect data points from any of the open websites, right? I mean, if you just look for any blockchain snippets, you can obviously get there. Even Google dashboards, it's one data visualization tool. So what you can start with is blockchain is open source. You get it there on plenty of websites. So to start with, what you can do is you can pull up the data from anywhere, just play around, just try to understand what it is, right? It has transaction hash, which is similar to what we call it transaction ID in terms of a Google Pay or a Phone Pay. And then there is a sender and a receiver, and there are terms like hash, gas fees, and everything. So I would suggest you to explore what it is at the beginning, just to get a feel of what it is, right? And the beauty is, like I said, since it's open source, you can come up with your own analytics and insights. You can say what's the number of volume that is trading on particular coins or chains. What's the average volume? What's the highest sales? What's the lowest sale? What is exactly happening, right? Some of you might have seen whale alerts, right? This particular whale has bought 50 bitcoins or 100 bitcoins. That is possible with somebody playing around with the data set, right? If somebody grabs the data and performs analytics and insights at the back door, then they'll be able to see a spike when somebody does something fancy, right? And let me tell you a couple of other examples on blockchain where data analytics could be useful. So right now, how do we get our birth certificates? It is like a paper, a piece of paper, or in some cases, people might get it digitally, right? So what can happen to both these cases? Paper can get damaged, it can be lost. The same with digital copies, right? You store it on a pen drive or a hard disk, or you store it ultimately onto Google. which you feel that it is very secure, but it is not, right? Google or any centralized products might look safer and secure, but it is actually not. And that is where blockchain comes into picture. So whenever something is embedded onto it, if you know the keys, if you know the private keys or passphrases, then you can retrieve it across any across the globe. Even if you let's say uh, lose the password or anything, you I mean even if you lose the passphrase, that is where blockchain comes into it is a bit of tricky. So what if one block is corrupted? So in blockchain, it's not that each piece is getting corrupted or anything. It is just that you lose a piece of uh, passphrase or a code, but otherwise you can always retrieve it. And uh, we might have faced several times that the WhatsApp is down, right? WhatsApp is down, Facebook is down, Instagram is down. So what it does is it is because it is a centralized system, right? And that is the reason why some of these applications might be disrupted because of network or because of any data issues. The same can happen for data, right? If tomorrow Google or Amazon can come and say, sorry guys, we had a one of the biggest data leaks ever, and we have lost your data. We have Somebody has spoiled or let's say deleted all your data. Then what do? We don't have any backups, right? We just think that Google has everything of us. We have taken a backup of Google. But to remind you, it is a centralized system. And that is where we are indirectly thinking that it's safer and secure, but it is actually not. So blockchain enables that. It is immutable. Nobody can destroy that. And if you keep your passphrases, if you keep your passwords safer, then you can retrieve it from anywhere in the world. So that is what it is. It enables. This is one example, and for instance, logistics. Let's say, why do companies like Facebook they have to change their names to Meta, right? Obviously, they want to move or step into blockchain, and here users are anonymized, right? So nobody. Um, if you want to reveal your identity, that is up to you. But the reason why people choose metaverse or virtual lands is because they want to let's say socialize without even revealing their identity. And that is what this Web3 enables. And do you know any virtual lands or virtual metaverses already? Have anybody heard of virtual assets or virtual lands? Let's shake any names of it. Metaverses, virtual lands. Loca, okay, buying NFT land. Now NFTs, digital assets. There is again asset classes. Okay, Loca came in Shark Tank India. Good to know that. But I mean the established ones. So let's say Sandbox, Decentraland, Somnium Space, where they have a replica of a virtual land, virtual space, where people can log in, people can connect, people can do parties without even revealing their identities. That is what is happening right now, and that is why companies like Apple, Google, Amazon, Microsoft, they are moving towards taking a step in NFTs or blockchains. Again, somebody put up NFT. What is an NFT? Any interesting answers? What is an NFT and what does that exactly mean? It's not about the abbreviation. I mean, you get the abbreviation just with a click on Google. So what is an NFT and what it actually means? Any answers regarding NFTs, or you guys are pretty new to NFTs? Yeah, Somijit, it's right. Token, it's a form of token, but what exactly is NFT? NFTs are nothing but non-fungible tokens. So imagine that you have a 500 rupees. It is comparable with another 500, right? Or what you can do is you can do a 200 and then 100. But 500 is still compared with a 500, right? But an NFT, it's non-fungible. So for example, art. For me, an art could be beautiful. I look at an art and I say, that's really nice. But for someone else, that could be a completely crappy art. For them, it could look like a nothing, right? So non-fungible is something that is valued more by someone else. Doesn't mean that it should look the same for the others. Let's take an example of gold. For Indians, gold is important, right? We obviously go for gold, crave for gold, and we reserve a lot of gold at our homes. But it's not the same for Germans, right? Germans or Americans. It's not the same. For them, they know that gold carries a value, but they don't obviously go and collect or reserve gold in bunches, right? So there are some interesting answers here. So from Malhotra, Lohitaksha Malhotra, it's a sort of a certificate that can be verified by anyone and owned by one person. Awesome. Yes, it brings that uniqueness. This is what blockchain enables. A lot of people ask me, Vijay, somebody is buying an art for a few $100 or even $1,000. I can even take a screenshot, right? This is what the common typical Indian mindset is. They always ask this question. I can say yes, you can make a screenshot, you can print it out, you can put it as a poster, you can paste it at the background of where you live. But ultimately, who owns it can be able to trade it. And even if you have made 50 posters, two cutouts, or even made it as a wallpaper, you don't get anything. So the person who owns it can trade that asset. That is the beauty of NFTs. Yeah, Sheikh says it's like a document for a figure. Yes. It's sort of a copyright, good kind of a license, kind of one owns the particular NFTs. Have anybody heard of Bored Apes Yacht Club or CryptoPunks in your life? Bored Apes or CryptoPunks? So Bored Apes and CryptoPunks, they are the most, highest sold NFTs in the world. So the reason why people go for it is it's not for the art, it is for the community. Let's say recently Justin Bieber, he bought one of the Bored Apes. He gets that just because he can meet 50 other Justin Biebers at a party or at an event organized by Bored Apes. So that's the motto. That's the motive. So a Rolex watch can still show the time as like the 100 rupees watch that you can get in the market, right? So that is what an NFT can provide. So if a Rolex watch can show the same time as a 100 rupees watch in the market, then what's different, right? It sits apart, right? It's like a brand, and that is what is also happening with NFTs of late. If you own something, you own it. You literally own it and you trade it. And that is where data science comes into picture. So whatever NFTs that are getting transacted, let's say person A sells it to B, B sells it to C, or C sells it back to A, you see everything on blockchain getting indexed. You never know. Vijay is sending it to Ganesh or Vijay is sending it to Malhotra, but then you see which wallet is sending it to which wallet. And that is what Web3 enables. If you remember correctly, Web1 used used to collect all the information from us, right? Right from name, date of birth, location, and everything, even while registering for any document. Web 2, simple, login using Facebook, login using LinkedIn, right? And Web 3 is made even simpler, login with wallet. So nobody knows who owns that wallet, but you can stay anonymized and you can transact at your own pace. So the middle layer is no more. So if there is, it's a transaction that he has to make, you have to make, you have to send something to Kirti or Ilanjalian, you need to send it to a bank account, right? That is held by a bank, and then they take out services by using their bank services, and then they're giving it out to you, right? If you hold on to something, if let's say if you hold on to a few lakh rupees, what do you get out of it? You get a very small percentage in return, because as a bank, they need to take care of a lot of commercials, building costs, electricity, maintenance, persons, salaries, and a lot. And the blockchain, what it enables is it breaks the middle layer, and Vijay can send something directly to Malhotra, and Sheikh can directly send it to Vijay. And since this field is pretty new, there are, of course, there are a lot of ifs and buts. There are a lot of uh, good things happening around, and at the same time, bad things are also happening. But the thing is, people always highlight the bad things, right? So that is the reason why people are still afraid of the technology as such, and that is also the reason why India just recently announced that they'll be slowly adopting. I mean, they haven't entirely adopted or accepted this technology, but then they have said 30% tax on whatever gains you take from blockchain. So that's a welcoming change. But for a country like Germany, where I used to live, they have accepted or adopted this technology, and you could see a lot of things coming up in the near future. So yes. In the meantime, if you have any questions, yes, you can ask. If you have any questions, any questions, any doubts. Okay, Sheikh is clear. Good. Anybody has any questions about blockchain or data science or even masters in Germany, for instance, or anything out of the box? Feel free to ask, because we are already ticking at 30 minutes. I'm not sure how long we can go forward. Maybe a few more minutes. If you would like me to touch upon any specific topic, please let me know so that I can talk about that. If you have any doubts or concerns, just let me know. Okay, so Shubham asks, do we need to know data science and ML for blockchain? No, definitely not. So by Ritik, yeah. So blockchain is something that you can do. You can actually learn solidity. Solidity is one thing that can help you dive into blockchain. Solidity, can someone type it there on the chat box? That can help you out. And Shivam has a question: who is a full stack developer? I mean, somebody who performs both backend and front end is called a full stack, right? I mean, that is totally out of context, but yes, if you can set up a web application both in front end and also take care of the back end using Python or any other back end stuffs, then that is full stack. Padma Vyuk, thanks a lot. What's your views on data science on SDG goals? Okay, so UN 2030. So data science helps predict a lot of failures, right? So let's say if there is a scientist who is figuring out multiple ways, let's say 100 ways to figure out and innovate a medicine, data science helps you or helps those guys to narrow down the possibilities of failures. If you use chemical A and B, if there's a chance of failure, then the data science will let you know. So this is just an example. So thereby, you can obviously use it to a lot of climate actions, hunger, and food index. So obviously, data science can help a lot, uh, help achieve the UN goals, 2030 goals. And I believe that with blockchain in place now, blockchain and data science would be a brutal force. How to understand the business so that we can add value to any project? Um, it's the first step in any cases, be it pharmaceutical, retail, e-commerce, electrical, automotive, any business. You first need to understand the business of it, right? So read a lot of books, read a lot of materials, so that you can enrich yourself before you start adding value. When will someone add value? Only if you understand the concept, only if you understand the businesses, you can start adding value. So do that as a first step. And how can someone become full stack developer? Please learn Python. Please learn React or Angular JS or something that so that you're robust in terms of backend using Python or Java, and at the same time Angular or React so that front end is complete. Abhijit, roadmap for making career in blockchain. So blockchain is something that it is still niche. It is still very niche area. Watch a lot of. I mean, Yash is also asking the same question. Best resources to get started with blockchain. I would suggest you to have a look at YouTube videos. YouTube is the best place I would recommend you to start something, anything. So YouTube is a collection of several videos, right? Like right from IITs to Stanford, everybody has made a lot of videos out of it. Go through at least 5 to 10 videos of what is blockchain, what is solidity, and then take it from there. Once you get a grip of it, then do register yourself for any paid courses like Udemy or what else. There are a lot of paid courses out there which you can learn. Okay, and there is a blog that has been posted. Please make use of it. How can an undergrad, being an undergrad or a graduate, postgrad, doesn't even matter. It's all about there is a kid who is aged 12 or 14. He owns a blockchain startup in India, and he's already been funded millions of dollars from investors. So it doesn't have to be an undergrad or postgrad. It's all about the mindset. It's all about how quickly you adapt to the new technology and how quickly you get a grasp of it. So start learning. I mean, your current status doesn't shouldn't determine what you're up to. There are very few openings for freshers. How an undergraduate can get into experience. It all starts with internships, right? I mean, look out for internships. Uh, there are plenty of openings in my perspective. So openings, where do you quantify, or how do you quantify openings for freshers? Are you looking at LinkedIn? Are you looking at Stepstone, Indeed jobs, uh, Shala? I can surely bet there are 500 plus openings at the moment on LinkedIn, Shala, Stepstone, Indeed. So probably you might not have looked at a lot of platforms out there, but definitely there are a lot. So start getting internships, but without even knowing anything, without even knowing Solidity, without even knowing blockchain. If you want to directly apply to a blockchain position, then that is tough. You have to do some homework, right? Like I said, a kid of 12-year-old or 14-year-old. I'm not sure about the name of that kid, but he owns a blockchain firm that is funded by millions in India. I'm not sure which app it is. It is a D app, decentralized app. So, uh, was he refraining himself from getting into it just because he was 14 or 15? And was he looking at openings? He just started building. He just started building a decentralized application, and then later converted it to millions of dollars, right? So it's the mindset. It's not about the openings that are out there. Why do you need openings if you can learn something? Exactly. 13-year-old Goa boy is now $1 million cryptocurrency firm. And somebody is saying about openings for freshers and complaining about openings. So, does a 13-year-old go check out LinkedIn or Indeed or Stepstone for jobs? He must have just went through a lot of YouTube videos, started doing something, and something worked out, right? Because India is new to blockchain, and he was pretty early on it. He was new to that, and he kept on listening to a lot of podcasts and videos, and he started working on it. So it's just the mindset. Okay, so US, I guess most of the people prefer US. I mean, including myself, I was initially inclined towards US, but then it is very costlier. But there are a lot of research opportunities in Germany. The good thing about Germany is Germany, you can do your masters with 10 lakhs or 15 lakhs of rupees, INR, Indian rupees, for the whole masters. But whereas in US, you have to spend at least 40 to 50 lakhs, right? So if you come from middle class background, obviously go for a master's from Germany. That can help you get a good one. And yeah, so isn't it NFT just a picture or a GIF? Okay, this is what I also answered in the call. So where are we talking now? Through a digital session, right? Right from the alarm clock that you put an arm to in the morning and setting an alarm at the night. Everything has become digital, right? We order food through Zomato, Swiggy. We order transportation using Ola, Uber, Zeptos, Dunzo, ID cards. This what is this? StreamYard. Everything has become digital. So if you are valuing a physical land as something that carries value, digital folks, Generation Z, is considering digital assets as a value, right? Like I said, gold can be an asset to Indians. It cannot be an asset to Germans. I don't see any Germans wearing rings or chains like Indians, right? So for you, it is just a picture, but for somebody who trusts the technology, who trusts that digital carries value, will invest onto it. Nobody is forcing you to invest, right? Dr. Patel, you can simply refrain yourself from investing. You shouldn't have to complain about the others doing it, right? So that's my point. For someone, it can be worthy, but for some others, it might look shitty, right? So it's better if you have the conviction, you get onto it. If not, you just stay away and uh, leave others to enjoy the benefits of it. Okay. So which field in India? Gaming, of course, a lot of games have become a hit because of Indians getting into it. So I guess gaming NFTs. So to answer Dr. Patel's questions, gaming. How many of you play PUBG? Right? What happens to PUBG skins and guns that people purchase? Right? I personally know people who purchase skins like Army Vest, M16Z, or whatever guns or whatever cap, coolers, they purchase it. What happens to those assets right now? If you uninstall or if you decide to move on to another game, your assets are gone, right? But imagine that as an NFT. If you purchase a skin, if you purchase something that says level 80th of PUBG, then there is someone who is ready to purchase that. If you uninstall the game, if you are fed up with that game, you can still go and sell it out and then check out. Right? How does that look like? Right? This is what I call as an NFT. So if you are throwing money onto something and enjoying benefits, playing a game, and then uninstalling and not even getting back anything, that is the present day life. That is what is happening now. People invest money on Clash of Clans, PUBG, Clash Royale. They buy stuffs. They buy gold for 250 rupees, 500 rupees, 1000 rupees, right? You agree, right? And with NFTs, it can be traded. It can be sold to somebody who loves PUBG, somebody who plays PUBG. That's the beauty of it. So the options are plenty. There are plenty of benefits. So it's up to us to really make use of the technology, or you just skip. If you are not really sure of what this technology can provide, you can just stay away. Right? Staying away is always healthy. You can in fact feel a lot healthier. Yes, there are plenty of blockchain communities. There are a lot on Twitter Spaces. You can listen to a lot of Twitter blockchain spaces, and there are a lot of um, what is that, clubhouse communities out there. Even BitScrunch. At BitScrunch, we have a community on Telegram. If you search for BitScrunch, you could see a community for BitScrunch. So yes, there are plenty of opportunities. Okay, so it's about the demand and supply. So nobody is setting up standards, right? Nobody is setting up standards. People print currencies, right? The US government, if they keep on printing currencies, that is how they control the inflation or they control the market, right? So paper money doesn't carry any limits. They just keep printing, right? Even look at India; they have printed out several lakhs or millions of currency papers. But how much is circulating, right? So that is a different scenario. That is a different question. So I guess that's it from my end. So if you have any questions, please feel free to connect with me. And yeah.
We're grateful for having you here with us today, sir. Thank you so much for spending your
Thanks a lot.
time sharing your knowledge with us. Yeah, and I'm sure everyone on stream took a lot from this webinar. It was very engaging, in fact. And we
So,
definitely hope to see you at the next summit too, with even more on data science and the bleeding edge technology that is blockchain.
yeah, for sure, for sure. I mean, right now, today, like I said at the beginning, I'm not fully fit. I have a sore throat. That's also the reason probably you might have seen me checking out the video a couple of times just to sneeze, just to cough in between.
No, sir,
But yeah,
you look great, and in spite of all of that, thank you so much for still having it up.
cool.
Okay.
So yeah,
Thank you
I've
so
just
much for
posted my
everyone who's
I've just posted my social handles here. So if somebody wants to take a
yeah,
note
we'll add
of
it
it,
onto the screen.
yes, also to the description. If you can put it to the video description, it would be nice for people to reach out to me later.
Yeah, so we'll do that just in
Cool
one
then.
second.
Cool then. Thanks a lot.
Mm.
Thanks.
Thank you
Take
so much
care.
for everyone.
Bye bye. Yeah.
Bye bye.